Let's start on Kuf Tes. Is that 6 lines? I think 6 lines, 5 lines from the bottom, 6 lines from the bottom. V'haitana Maisla Mehacha. Kuf Tes Amid Aleph. 109. Hey, thank you. Okay. We thank Hashem that we're able to learn every day. We're supposed to be learning Shal English. Does it say in Shulchan Aruch the day after Yom Kippur you're supposed to come early to Shul? I think it says that. I think it says, like not like okay, where right? There's an expression, something like that. Right there. It says every day. Morning but I think it says Mashkimin Lebesak Nessus or something. I think there's an expression like that. Anyway, it's a special day. Is this Guts Namen? Is that what they call it? It's like 4 days or something. Am I getting that wrong? There's 4 days between Kippur and Sukkot, which corresponds to the 4 letters of Hashem's name. Yeah, I think the first day is called Guts Namen.
The Maimer I was talking about, like 4 days. Starting on the first day of Sukkot, because you got a free break day. So the days that are all clear.
Right. Marishan.
Yeah.
You were learning the Nishmas Havagol Bas Baruch Binyamin and sons of Ben Betzion. Also, first name of Avram David Ben Sarah. Now he gets a little yes Ben Pegetz Yipara. Okay. Sorry. Stopped by the other guy's house and they didn't come and they said they're not coming. They're still recovering. Okay. So we were learning before a source that the father inherits before brother. We're talking about someone passes away and he has property and it gets inherited by the sons. If he doesn't have sons, it goes to the daughters. If he doesn't have daughters, then it goes to the father. If the father's not around, then it goes to the brothers. So we learned before that the father inherits before the brother. It goes down. Right, here's the person that goes to his children down a level. If he doesn't have children, then it goes up. If it doesn't go up, he doesn't have a father, then it goes to the brothers, goes to the son. We learned before that the father precedes the brothers in the inheritance. So
his brothers or
the deceased brothers. He precedes his own brothers that we knew, that we also learned. It's correct. The uncles, right? That would be the uncle.
So in that case, it doesn't matter if the father is not around, but his father is around?
Yeah, if his father's around, it doesn't matter. It goes to the brothers first.
Okay.
Then
also, is there any quick halakhic question? Is there any halakhic issue with someone changing via a private will this order of inheritance?
Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of that. I don't know the ins and outs. I know they have these halachic wills where it has to be given, I think, before the death. You don't want to. A person shouldn't avoid. However, he does the will halachically, but he can't avoid the loss of inheritance. He has to leave a little bit over for the inheritance to the halachas to take place, and then the big buildings and the companies that he can give before. So we learned it from the pasuk of She'erai. She'erai, we said She'er means the father. She'er means a relative. We said it's referring to the father. He said that the father, he precedes the brothers, even though the psukim, it didn't look like that. We said the psukim aren't in order. However, there's another Tana that doesn't learn it from She'er. He learns it from a different source. The Tanya was taught in a Brisa. Azu Darash Rabbi Shmuel bar Yesi. Rabbi Shmuel bar Yesi taught the following. Shmuel bar Yesi is Rabbi Yesi ben Chalaf's son. Right? Rabbi Yesi ben Chalaf lived in Tzipori, and his son Rabbi Shmuel also lived in Tzipori. We know that from a Gemara in Sukkah. The Gemara says Rabbi Yesi holds like this, but in Tzipori they paskin like this and that. Gemara says, "Oh, that was Rabbi Shmuel, the son that paskin. It wasn't the father." He taught the following: Ishki Yamas ben Einlai. If a man dies and he doesn't have a son, so if we say we pass the inheritance over, v'havarta es nachlasei, v'havartem es nachlasei lebitei. The inheritance gets passed over to the daughter. So it says when you're using the word gets passed, that means that you're skipping someone that's important. So b'makim bas atamaver nachla min ha'av. When there's a daughter, you pass over the father. That means the father should have gotten it, but you pass over the father to give to the daughter. That's telling me that if there was no daughter, then the father would proceed. But you don't listen to this. This is a confusing statement. But you don't pass over the inheritance from the father to the brothers. Rather, the father keeps it before the brothers get it. Oh, that's what it is. You don't pass it over. You pass to the daughter instead of the father.
The deceased brothers or the father's brothers?
No, the deceased brothers.
What if this,
Scenario, but what if the father's not around and the grandfather is?
Yes, it goes to the brothers before the grandfather.
if the, if they had
It
a
goes to the brothers of the
daughter,
deceased before it goes to the grandfather. And then if he doesn't have brothers, then it would go to the uncles. Then it would go, oh, if he doesn't have brothers, does it go to his father first? I'm not sure. That's a good question. We'll have to wait tomorrow.
does it go, if his mother got married to someone, got divorced, his mother married other person, that's who he stayed by, okay? Does he still get to the father?
No, only his biological father.
So it's father and brothers.
Then brothers, yeah. But you're starting on the top. You're not going to be able to give right the sons and daughters first. Really, sons, then daughters, then father, then brothers.
No, but assuming the son is deceased,
Oh, if the son's deceased, oh, sorry, he doesn't have sons. Okay.
then daughters,
The father.
father, brothers, daughter, and then
So the daughter becomes after the son.
yeah, after the son.
And then
That's
father.
assuming. So I should.
Does that erase?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Let's do it. I have Jonathan has a board. So let's put over here our person. Okay. He's the guy that just passed away. Right. So he has a son. And let's say he has a daughter. He has a father. And he has brothers. It goes like this. This is number one. This is number two. This is number three. And this is number four. So I just set it up like this, that you see the guy in the middle? He died. So it goes to number one is the son. Number two would be the daughters. Number three would be the fathers. Number four would be the brothers. That's where we're holding right now. That's our gun. You want me to put the deceased sideways? Okay. Give them names, it makes it easier. But we did, no, usually you do. We do like this. We do. This is Yaakov up here. The father. This would be Ruvain. This is Shimon. This is Hanais. And I don't know his daughter's name. I don't know Ruvain's daughter's name. Ruvaina. Shimon and Levi. Okay. So Ve'ema. Come on, ask the question. You know, this whole lima, it was not in the psukim. It didn't say that you pass from the father to the daughters. we made up that it goes to the father first. And from that, we said, oh, obviously the fathers get before the brother because we're passing from the father to the daughters. It says you pass to the.
That's wrong.
Doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't say the daughters. Yeah.
Oh.
The Ema, you know what we can do instead of Ruvain, do is let's change his name to Usher.
Then you
Nah, I
have
didn't mean-
Usher. Oh, but Usher doesn't have a son.
was not sure.
So we can do I
I
don't know.
Kahas.
Okay.
All right,
Done.
no.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know
But that's what we're going to.
if you do Levi's strike, you
And
can
the
have it.
Tyra and then
We're thinking
children,
which girls, the names we know, the girls have been. Okay. Ve'ima b'makam ba'asatama v'nachla menach, and maybe it's the opposite. Maybe if there's a
only way I
daughter,
could think of the Yitzchak, Yaakov, I
Dina.
guess,
Yeah,
Dina.
Dina. Maybe maybe you're supposed to pass the inheritance to the daughters instead of the brothers. We made this up that you pass it from the father. You skip over the father who's supposed to be inheriting first. And from that, we derived that the father gets before the brothers. But maybe that's not what it means. Maybe it means you pass it to the daughters and skip over the brothers, which means the brothers get before the father. If there's a daughter, you pass over the brothers. But you don't pass over from the father to the daughters, which would mean that the father comes before the brothers. I'm sorry, that the father comes before the daughter. That's what leave us with. Leave us with that you pass over the brothers to get to the daughter.
So they're saying that you would switch 3 and 4.
Maybe you would skip, no, you would skip 2 with 3. Maybe the father should get before the daughter. Yeah, but we're deriving that. We derive that you go down first. But now maybe you don't go down first. Maybe you go first. You go down to the daughter before the brothers, but maybe the father should get before the daughter. Okay. The Gemara answers this. If we would say that the brothers, that you pass over the brothers to get to the daughter, but you don't pass over the father to get to the daughter, to give it to the daughter, then I wouldn't have used the word ba'avarta. Ba'avarta means we're passing over someone significant. And we assume that the daughters are a closer relative anyway than the brothers. Maybe not more than the father, but more than the brothers. So the word ba'avarta is used when we're passing over the father, not when we're passing over the brothers. Okay. So whatever the case is, we have 2 sources that the father gets before the brothers and the daughter gets before the father. Well, that wasn't our main point, that the daughter gets before the father. The main point over here was ba'avarta. According to this opinion, which is Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yaisi, what does he do with the pasuk of She'ere, which tells me that the father inherits before the brothers? It goes up before it goes sideways. He needs it for the following brisa. Says She'erai, and the pasuk says, the brisa quotes the pasuk She'erai, Zu Ishtai. This is his wife. It means the She'erai. The She'erai works, it's really strange because the pasuk says to the relative, that the inheritance goes to the relative. The Rashbam says, according to this opinion, we're going to have to take away a vav from lisheirei, or the lamed from lisheirei, and we're going to have to add it afterwards. We're going to do sheirei loy. This teaches us that the husband inherits his wife. We're going to switch the simple meaning of the verse to mean that the she'er inherits. We're saying that you inherit from the she'er.
That's like the ksuba.
That
But
you
all of her
inherit, no,
possession-
that the husband inherits all of her possessions. He marries a wealthy woman,
Right.
so he inherits it.
He has the rights to them. She's alive, right?
Yeah, but the family would like to take it back when she dies, but no, the husband gets it. Unless they have some arrangement. Okay. So we have a source. What does the source tell me? No, I'm sorry. The source of Varta, what do they do with She'erai? They use She'erai to tell me that a husband inherits his wife. According to the one that says that the father inherits before the brothers, we learn from She'er that means the fathers. What does he do with pasuk of Varta, which says that you pass it to you pass over the father to get to the daughter, but not the brothers, because the father inherits before the brothers. So he has another source. So if he learns from She'er, so what does he do with Vavarta? We need it for the following brisa. It says, Rebbe says, in all the places in all of the passage about inheritance, it says, and you will give. And in this one verse, it says, and you will pass over. So, the only one that passes from one tribe to another tribe is a daughter. The daughter is the one that moves the inheritance from tribe to tribe because she gets married, and then it leaves the original family and it ends up going to other people, other tribes, whoever she marries, right? Because they inherit her, right? And the children are from a different tribe. Alabas. Because her sons and her husband inherit her. Okay.
That's only up to the
Yoibel has to do with selling. This would move.
So you're saying that people
lose, they lose the inheritance.
their shavits?
Yeah. No, when brothers divide it up, that's considered an inheritance. That's considered a sale. But that just means that it goes back to the inheritor. And then they redivide it. But it's not in, doesn't go back to the other tribe. It actually leaves. The pasuk is telling me that it actually leaves the tribe and it goes to the other tribe. So I have like pockets of different tribes in different areas. It's considered that area.
Well, Benjamin was a very small inheritance.
They lost the land. Right. Right. The first generation that had to marry women from their own tribe to keep it strong, the inheritance. And then after that, they could marry. But, first generation that came into the land of Israel was supposed to marry from their own tribe, keep it in the family, the property. And then after that, it started to mix. Well, because now each one has another something to do with the other verse. We had this two sources for the father inheriting before the brothers. What does each one do with the other one? One of them uses it to tell me that the husband inherits wife. The other one says that the wife removes the inheritance from the tribe. How do you know, going back on the first source, how do you know that she'er means the father? It says the father inherits before the brothers because it says she'er. How do you know that she'er means the father? She'er just means a relative. Because when it comes to the forbidden marriages, it says that a person is not allowed to marry his aunt, his father's sister. And it says it's the relative of his father. can't marry her. So the Ema, and it says the word she'er. So it tells me she'er avicha means that it uses the word she'er in association with the father. It says Ema she'er ze aim. It's if she'er imechahu. It's but maybe he's not allowed to marry his aunt. That's the sister of his mother, which is also he's not allowed to marry. He's only allowed to marry his niece. He can't marry an aunt. He can marry your niece. But right. So it doesn't matter if it's the father's sister or the mother's sister. So both of them tell me, and we have the word she'er again, used with the association with the mother. Amarava, Amarkra, mimeshpachta v'yarashaisa. It says from his family, and he will inherit her. Mishpachas av, kriya mishpacha, mishpachas emin, kriya mishpacha. When it says family, mishpacha, that's only the father's family is called mishpacha. The mother's family is not called mishpacha. And Cholamayid, when you get together with the cousins, so which side do you get together with more? The father's cousins or the mother's cousins? Okay, don't answer. So the ksiv lemishpachaisin leveisavaisam says to the family, to the father's house. It means the father's family is called the family. The mother's family isn't called family. Regarding inheritance, not regarding Cholamite trips. Okay, the Gemara says mishpacha same menakri mishpacha. The mother's family isn't called a family of aksiv, but we have a pasuk like this. You just quoted the Nevi'im, the chapter before that. Jonathan just mentioned the Pelegish Begiva. That's chapter 18 or 19. You go back one chapter, 2 chapters to 17, 16, 17. Over there you have the story of Pesel Micha. Remember what happened? This boy steals money from his mother, and then he admits that he stole it. And then the mother said, oh, but I consecrated it. He ends up making it into an idol, and then he finds a boy that needs a place to live. He says, oh, what are you? He says, I'm a Levi. He's so perfect. I have an idol. I need someone to be the priest for the idol. So he hires him to Micha, yeah. And then this
Grandson of my shirt.
yeah, very good. And then there's these people from Dan that are coming to find territory, and they wanted to ask divination, wanted to find out will they win. So they see this boy, anyway, will you win? He said, yeah. Anyway, they come back, they take him together with the idol to their territory, and could be. Yeah, that's right. Very good. But there it says, Vaksiv, there was a lad from the Beis Lechem Yehuda. The Mishpachas Yehuda comes from the family of Yehuda. V'hu Levi, and he's a Levi. V'hu Garsham, and he's living there. So Hagufa Kasha. 1 second. What's going on over here? Amrit v'hu Levi. You tell me he's a Levi. That means his father must be a Levi, right? The tribal family follows the father. The reason why, the practical reason why, is because who would teach them how to serve if it wasn't the father? Who would follow the mother, then the father wasn't a Levi, and then the guy's going to be a Levi, but he has no one to teach him. So these services follow the father. Havahu Levi Alma mi Levi Yasi. It must be that it comes from Levi. So Mishpachas Yehuda, but then it says he's from the family of Yehuda. Alma mi Yehuda. He must be comes from Yehuda. Elalav Davu mi Levi v'mi Yehuda. Come from Mishpachas Yehuda. Must be that his father is a Levi, and his mother is from Yehuda. And we call him Mishpachas Yehuda. We see that the mother's family is called family. Amar Rabba Bar Chanan. Interesting. Rabba Bar Chanan. Is that what you have? Bar Chanan or Chanan? I'm a Rava Bar. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a Rava Bar of Chanan.
The Shevet goes from the father. No?
Yeah,
That's what
father.
That's what
Yeah, the Shevet is from the father, but the mother is from Yehuda. So now we end up with these.
Mother's family is Mishpach.
So Rava Bar of Chanan. Rabba Chanan Bar Rabba. Was there Chanan Bar Rabba, which I thought was like a son-in-law of Rav. Okay. Anyway, the Gemara says, Loi. That's not what's going on. What's going on over here? It gives a wild answer. Gabra Deshmei Levi says Vahu Levi. That means his name is Levi, not that he's from the tribe of Levi. That's just his name. His first name's Levi. Ihachi. If so, okay. Aina de Kamar Micha. Is this what Micha says? This is in question form. Is this what Micha says? Ati Yadati ki itav Hashem li ki haya li alevi lakayin. Micha's all excited that he has a proper kohen because he has someone from the tribe of Levi. Is he all excited because the person's name is Levi? Is that what's exciting him? He doesn't even have.
But it meant this in the Navi, it said it was much. It's just a random thing.
Hold on 1 second. We'll get to your question. The Gemara is going to ask you a question in a second. 1 second. The Gemara says in, yeah, it's Rami Le Gavra Deshmei Levi. It says that he found the person's name is Levi. He's excited. Sometimes people are excited the person's name. Yeah, we have a Levi on the brochures and on the entrance to the idol. We have a Levi here, the authentic Levi. It's his real name. So it says, "V'chi Levi Shmai, is his name really Levi?" This question is being asked by Shalom as well. In the Gemara, it says, "V'chi Levi Shmai, is his name Levi?" Well, and Yitzir, right? V'ala Yonasan Shmai, his name is Yonasan. The Navi tells us his name is Yonasan. Shenem Rabbi Yonasan Megershin ben Menashe, one of Hayakainim l'Shevet Adani. We say that his name is Yonasan ben Gershon ben Menashe. Him and his sons were Kayanim to the tribe of Dan. I guess after they took them. The Gemara says, I think we're supposed to take out Amalei Olataimeh. We're supposed to take that out. The Bach erases that. It says, V'chi ben Menashehu, was he the son of Menashe? Halei ben Moshehu, he's really the son of Moshe. Iksiv b'nei Moshe Gershon ve'Eliezer. We know that Moshe's son was Eliezer, and this it was Gershon rather, and this is a son of Gershon. Yonasan ben Gershon, supposed to be ben Moshe. Because he acted like Menashe, who worshipped idols. Menashe was the son of Chizkiah. We're going to get to that soon. So that's why he's associated with Menashe. Now, if you look at the text, it actually says Menashe, but the nun is in a very small font. It's in the small letters. So the hanging nun, small nun. Yeah, there's a whole all the letters of the Torah. There's a small set and there's a big set. Here's the nun. The small nun is over here.
What's the thing that Menashe the bad?
It says Menashe worshipped idols. He spread idol worship. So because he looking for a name to give him, the name was. Yeah, not Ephraim and Menashe. Chizkiah's son. Chizkiah didn't want to get married because he saw in prophecy that his son was going to be bad. So the Navi tells him that he's going to die. Yeshaya says he's going to die because he didn't get married. So he says, no, but I'm going to have a bad son. He said, that's none of your business. You have to do what you're supposed to do. So he takes the prophet's daughter. He marries Yeshaya's daughter. And he has the son is Menashe. Yeah. Who ends up killing. Does he kill the prophet? Who does he kill? He kills his father. He kills his father. He kills the prophet. He kills the prophet. Yeah. The nun in Menashe is suspended, and so, but his name is really Moshe. So if you drop the nun, it's Moshe. So the Torah is covering up, at least in this, the Torah covers up for the respect of Moshe. Covers up that this grandson was a priest for an idol. Yeah. So the Gemara says. So also, the reason why he's called from the family of Yehuda is because Menashe was a descendant of Yehuda. He was one of the tribes. He was one of the kings of the Yehuda dynasty, the Davidic dynasty. So that's why he's called from the family of Yehuda. Right? If we're ready to switch the name, we switch the family. we gave him the name Menashe because of the idolatry. So Menashe comes from Yehuda. So
switch to.
yeah, so now we don't have that source that the mother's family is called family. We thought we had to have a mother's family being called family. We don't have that anymore. Rabbi Yechanan says, name of Rabbi Shimon Mikan Shetelin Kalkala B'Makolkol. Here you see that you associate negativity with the negative thing. So he worshipped idols, so we call him Ben Menashe. Menashe worshipped idols. Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina Amar Mehacha. Rabbi
What
Yossi Bar Chanina.
generation was
So
Way later.
This
Oh, why?
Menashe,
your son is your
Right.
father? 400.
Yeah.
when they say Ben
Let me
Menashe,
repeat Shalom's question. Shalom's asking that Menashe was many, many years later. So why should he be called Ben Menashe when Menashe wasn't even around yet? It's really Moshe. You want to say that when it was written, it was after who wrote Shoftim, the book of Shoftim? Does it say Shmuel wrote it? Shmuel Kasav Sifrei. I don't remember. Oh, it's right here in Baba Basra. Gimel or Daf Yud Dalet. Who wrote Shoftim? Shmuel?
Please stop for because we don't have
Yeshua Kasav Sifrei. Shmuel Kasav Sifrei v'Shoftim v'Rus. Very good. So Shmuel wrote it. So Shmuel was before Menashe as well. So I can't answer that. Maybe when it was written, the author, that was Shmuel that wrote it. I don't know.
According to Professor Mirsky,
Okay.
it was written so much later because the idolatry that Menashe started had to die out before anything praiseworthy could be written about him. So that's why the story of his life was written so much later.
1 second. The story of
Shimon was in a lot.
Wasn't Menashe famous for starting all this idolatry and then he did tshuva?
right.
And so, according to Professor Mirsky, he says that just because he did tshuva didn't mean the people who had been influenced to take on idolatry had done tshuva. And it took that much time for that influence of his to die out. And only then could something be written about him.
So the story of the Pesel Micha is out of order in Shoftim. That's what it seems. So that was put later because we're waiting for Menashe's influence to die out. Is that the story of Pesel Micha was written later, or Menashe in the book of Malachim was written later?
Menashe in the book of Malachim.
Okay.
Just it was populated. There's two stories in Shoftim. Bring it back. No one's done that.
Very good.
Two stories.
Right. Right. This is the second. This is the first of the bad stories. Okay. Now Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina has another source. I'm sorry. Another one was first, right? Okay. It says Adonio, he decided that he's going to be king instead of Shlomo HaMelech. And he appoints himself king, and he takes with him a bunch of people, and they make a feast, and they say, "Long live King Adonio," and the prophet. Who was the prophet then?
What time was this?
Yeah, Nassan the Navi. Nassan the Navi, and tells Bathsheba about your son is losing out, so she goes into the king to tell him. Well, it says over there that he was very good looking, and he was born after Avshalom. Avshalom was another son of David that also led a rebellion, much worse rebellion. He led a rebellion against his father. His father was well. This is Adonio, his father was old, right? just wanted to take over before Shlomo took over. But Avshalom led a serious rebellion. It says, Adoniah ben Chagis v'Avshalom ben Macha. Adoniah was born from Chagis, and Avshalom was born from Macha. They have different mothers. Why are you telling me this one was born first before the other one? They don't have the same mother, same father, but different mothers. It's associating with him with Avshalom because he also led a rebellion, just like Avshalom. Okay. Okay, a different source that we have, that Teilen Akilkal b'Makolkal, that if someone's corrupt, we associate him with someone else that's corrupt. Amar Rabbi Lazar says, "Lalam Yid Bakadam B'Tayvim." Person should always connect with good people in marriage. Because Moshe that married the daughter of Yisrael that didn't have proper lineage, so Yatzimena Yainasan. From him came out Yainasan, which was a priest for an idol. Aaron, Shanasa Basaminadav, but Aaron that married the daughter of Aminadav, which is the sister of Nachshon, Yatzimimena Pinchas. He had a much better grandson rather, which was Pinchas. Pinchas was considered much holier, right? It's pure. It says, Pinchas Labni Yisrael. What are you telling me? Pinchas also comes from Yisrael. You're associating the negativity in Moshe's family from Yisrael, but Pinchas comes from Yisrael. It says Vaksiv. We have a pasuk that says Velazar ben Aaron lakach leim b'nei Putiel Elisha. Elazar, the son of Aaron, marries from the daughters of Putiel. My love, is it not Asim Yisrael Shapita Magal Navi Dezara? He marries the daughter of Yisrael. Yisrael Putiel comes from the word pitim. It means to fatten. He fattened calves before he slaughtered them. It was like very cruel. You just stuff them up and then you kill them. So make them fat. Veal, right? Yeah, which is considered cruel. There's a discussion about if we're supposed to be eating veal and that type of stuff. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but veal, which is they stuff up the animal and make it very fat and then they kill it. Right?
I thought veal just meant it was under a year old.
Oh, okay. Whoops. No, but I heard that there's some that is it.
The fructose high corn syrup, they feed the cows. That's why you see people.
No, but I thought it was something that they stuff the animals, they force feed them. Yeah. Okay. So the Gemara says, no. It's not. He's called Benais Putiel. He married the daughter of Putiel. This is Elazar. That doesn't mean the daughter of Yisrael. It means the daughter of Yosef, because Yosef, it's a different word. It's not Pitain, but it's Pitpate. Pitpate means that he what? Struggled? No, I thought it meant like he rejected. Pitpate means like he took lightly. Yeah, I need a better word than struggle. Oh, they say battled. What does it say in the language? It appears that the word pit-pit in context is unrelated to the common Hebrew meaning of the word chatter. That's what I thought. I thought it was like chatter. That means like insignificant. Rather, it's related to the Aramaic word pit-put, in legs upon which the vessels rest. Mostly related to the Greek house, which means leg or foot. Accordingly, the word pit-pit would mean to step on something with one's foot. In other words, to vanquish or conquer. Oh, that's what they're saying. I thought that the word pit-pit means that he took lightly the Yetzer Hara, and as he had a Yetzer Hara, his wife was Potiphar's wife was advancing on him, and he like said, whatever, he like rejected it. Like that's what I thought. He's saying no, it means he battled. Okay. 1 second. So we have a new teretz over here. That he doesn't come from
Rashi. I mean, this also. The Nilcham connected it. Matris,
That's where you got it from. What does the word mashus mean?
Here's his teasers.
Tease.
Like,
Like Margell. I thought Israel was from.
Israel?
Yeah, and also.
Pinchas. Pinchas is a grandson of Aaron, but he also
his
his
wife.
mother is the son of Elazar. Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron. His mother, Elazar's wife, was from the daughters of Putiel. So we thought Putiel meant that he comes from Yisrael, because Yisrael had another name, Putiel. Why was he called Putiel? Whatever. But he fattened the cat. But the Gemara is now saying that no, he married the daughters of Putiel, the daughters of Yosef. It means his mother's from Yisrael. It says, I said, but 1 second, we have a source that says that the other tribes were shaming him. Did you see what's going on over here? Pinchas, that his grandfather was a cruel person. He fattened calves just to kill them, and now comes along that cruelty and expresses itself in killing the prince of Israel, Zimri, the prince of Shimon. So we see that he comes from Yisrael. And therefore, is that a question or is that a statement? Is that a no? We have a statement from Rebbe Lazar. You have to be careful who you marry. See the contrast between Moshe and Moshe's grandson versus Aaron's grandson. You have to be careful who you marry. Where it's challenging. It says 1 second. Aaron's son also didn't marry so good. And you see, you have this. Okay, so Gemara says, "Ella Yavu de'imi Yosef." If his mother, it could be his mother's father comes from Yosef. If that's the case, then ime de'ime me Yisrael. Then his mother's mother, his mother's mother would come from Yisrael, which would mean that his father, his father, we know who his father is. The question is his mother. His mother's father was from Yosef, but his mother's mother was from Yisrael. Or could be the opposite. Could be that his mother's father was from Yisrael, but his mother's mother would come from Yosef. Now, how does this answer our question? But Dekanami, I'll prove it to you. It says B'nais Putiel. There's two interpretations. Either it's because Putiel with the Yud, which sounds like a plural, because Yuds make things plural sometimes, or maybe it's B'nais instead of Bas. B'nais is also plural, so there's different interpretations there. But what's going on over here? Because we just made a contrast between Aaron versus Moshe, Aaron's grandson, Moshe's grandson, and we have Yisrael in both of them. So how does that work? The Rashbam answers that it's more distant in Aaron's family. Yisrael is more distant in Aaron's family than in Moshe's family. There's an extra generation in there. And Tosfos answers that Yona's son from his father's father, his father was a grandson of Yisrael, but Pinchas, it was his mother's family. So the father's family was more significant in the Yichus than his mother's family. But Pinchas was his mother's family.
Didn't Avram would technically have more sons? And one of those sons was sons, but one of his grandsons was Israel.
Tell me again. What was this?
Yes.
You're saying Yisro was a descendant of Abraham?
Yeah, no, that could be. one of those from Hagar.
Yeah,
It comes from
Hagar
Hagar.
had more children.
Uh-huh.
One of Hagar's children
That could be.
sent.
It says Midian was one of the Hagar's children. I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's the same Midian though.
It's the same one.
Yeah, Keturah, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
This is the
nevertheless.
son from Shaul.
No, that's not. This is not the innocent child. It's a different innocent. This
Yeah,
is
that was your son.
this is Yenison ben Gershon ben Menashe. Yeah, you're not named after him. Remember that story? The husband and the wife, they had to have a baby. Each of they wanted to name him Moshe because her father was Moshe, and he said, "No, my father was Moshe. I want to name it after my father." So he said, "No, your father was a scoundrel, and I'm not naming after him." He said, "No, my father was a." Anyway, they went to the Rav. The Rav said, "Look, if he grows up to be a Talmud Chacham, then he'll name after your father. If he grows up to be a scoundrel, then named after your father. Well, let's wait and see." Okay. Amar Rava. Rava says, and I see Isha, someone that marries a woman, you have to check out the brothers. When you do your research, you don't have to just ask which Beis Yaakov she went to and all of that. You have to also say, what are the brothers? What do they do?
Is this the source for that thing?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Was it? This like we applied today. Back then, when we didn't have, but they were more dependent.
Could be. Could be. I know the Chazon Ish said that when it says that you should marry a Bas Talmud Chacham in Shulchan Aruch, so he says it doesn't actually mean a Bas Talmud Chacham. It means Bas Talmud Chacham, of course, but it doesn't have to be that. Any girl that went to Beis Yaakov is called a Bas Talmud Chacham. The idea was that they were aware of Torah concepts, and they went to school. Then they went to Beis Yaakov, Beis Chana, Chaya, Beis Chala, and the Mendy and the Golem.
Wasn't Beis Yaakov brought up by any?
Yeah. I mean that style. It was not really specifically this. Shenemar Vikach Aaron as Elisheva bas Aminadav v'chis Nachshon. Says that Aaron took Elisheva, the daughter of Aminadav, the sister of Nachshon. Mimashma Shenemar bas Aminadav. Once it says that he married the daughter of Aminadav, of course it's the sister of Nachshon because it says Nachshon ben Aminadav. So it has to be a sister. Why does it have to say the sister of Nachshon? Mikansha. So when they marries a woman, should check out the brothers, see what they're like. I saw a source that says even the brothers that are distant, not her, it's not this you should check. Of course, you have to check everything else. Anyway, Tana. Started in a brisa, Raiv Banim Daimim Lachaya Aim. Most of the brothers are like, most of the sons rather are like the wife's brothers. Come out like the wife's brother. Yeah, that's the genetics, the Torah genetics. They don't tell you who the baldness comes from, but they tell you that the. Okay. It says the Yasura, we're going back to that story when the people of Dan came to check out this fellow from Yonasan ben Menashe. It says, Mia Viecha Halaim, who brought you here? Ma'ata Isa Bazeh, Malach Pai. They said, what are you doing here? What are you doing? What are you doing with this? What are you doing here? Amrulai, they said to him, the people of Dan tell to this Yonasan, Labni Moshe Kasis, aren't you a descendant of Moshe? It says, Miava Viecha Halaim, who brought you to here. And so we're associating that with the verse where Moshe, Hashem tells Moshe, don't get closer to the burning bush. When they tell him, so he says, Mazeh biyadcha, that's associated with the word zeh. When it says, what's in your hand? Hashem tells Moshe. That's with the stick, it turns into a snake. Aren't you from Moshe that it says pai? It says Malach pai, what are you doing here? And by Moshe it says, come stand with me here. What are you doing here? 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 What are you do You're going to become a priest for idolatry. So he says to them, I heard from my father's father, in the house of my father's father. Says, to do anything it takes to make a living. That's what I heard. Even sell yourself out, hire yourself out to Avodah Zarah. So he needed parnasa. This is Avodah Zarah mamish. He thought that when that expression meant that literally to serve, to be a priest for Avodah Zarah. That's not what I meant. Avodah Zarah, Avodah Shazara Lai. Even something that you're not familiar with. You should take a job that you're not so familiar with, as long as you don't have to come on to charity. Yeah. We'll go on a drop. It's going to explain this a drop more. Kedamale, I'm sorry.
He learned that there was a law that said like not to take certain jobs like a bar, tavern, or something like that. Like working like the garment industry with like other that for a guy.
Right.
Spoke about that.
Right.
So,
right. This is for sure not a. You would
sure.
take a job in a church.
Yeah.
So what does it mean? Avodah Zarah is something that is strange to him. Kedamale Rav Kana. Rav said to Rav Kana, Natesh Nevela, Rav and Rav Kana were teacher student. Rav Kana was the one that ran away from Israel. He killed at the end of Baba Kama. He killed him. So he says, Natesh Nevela Bashuka Vishkal Agra. You should skin a carcass in the marketplace to get paid. Don't say that you're a great man. Vizila be milsa, and it's shameful for me. So Avodah Zarah means something that's like distant from you to do. That means it's not to your standards. It's not to your. It's pasnished, right? Foreign service, but it means something that you're more is beneath you, beneath your dignity. You should still do it. So in other words, there's no job. It should be beneath your dignity, an honest living. Garbage man or whatever. It's not. It shouldn't be beneath your dignity. That's the comparison here. It's like that. That's probably a good job. Get strong, you know. Oh, now they just pick the machine just lifts it up. Oh, they sit inside drinking Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Okay. Kivan should know the guys that come around with the what's it called to get the dumpsters. Those guys got to be strong. The garbage men that they have to wheel it out. They have to push it around. Well,
You have to line it up.
Kivan Shara David saw, must have lived a long time. Shemam and Chavav loved Yaiser, that he really loved money. You know, Allah Itzris, he appointed him in charge of the treasury. Shnemar Shavuel ben Gershom ben Menashe. Nugget, is it say Menashe or Moshe? Is that hey? Moshe. The Gemara says Menashe, but it's adjusted. Did you have a note on that? I have a note to it says in the pasuk it actually says Moshe. Nagad al-Aitzis was in charge of the treasury. V'chein Shavuel Shmai was the name Shavuel. Allah Yonasan Shmai, his name was Yonasan. Rabbi Yochanan says Shashav Lakel B'chal Libai. He returned to Hashem. Yeah, it's big educational lesson over here.
Wow.
That you have to find what the person likes, what he's good at, and what he needs, and then he stays within the fold. Right? He likes money, so they gave him a job in the treasury instead of getting a job at the church.
The Avodah Zarah, they said it's okay.
To get a job? No, but what it meant over here was that it was Avodah Shezara Allah. It was beneath his dignity. And that doesn't mean Avodah Zarah. Yeah, someone said, I read this in a book called With All Your Heart. All Your Heart. I think that was the name of the book. It was Rabbi Matisyahu Solomon's lectures on education. It was written by Rabbi. Who wrote the Avner Gold? You know his name? You know, The Promised Child, The Dream. You know those books? No, that's his pen name. Yes, I think his name was Rabbi Weinman. Rabbi Reinman. Yeah, he's a Talmud Chacham. Wow. He changed his name for the stories. But anyway, so he wrote this book, With All Your Heart, and it's an excellent book on education. But in there, he has this, in his introduction, he has this part about that Esav, if he would have married Dinah, he would have done tshuva. He says the problem with Esav was that he liked girls, and so he would run after girls. If he would have had a wife like Dinah, so he would have been satisfied. He wouldn't have needed all of those other things. So he says sometimes, like, there's a child that needs, like, has a certain need. You have to give in to that little need, and they'll be fine. But he didn't know how to balance this out. But anyway, here you see he liked money, and that was all he needed was money. You give him the work in the treasury, and then he's happy. He likes to count the coins. Okay. Drive fancy cars. V'habanim es ha'av. Okay, the Gemara said over here that the sons inherit the father, right? Minalan. This Minalan, I think, is coming to tell me, how do we know that the sons inherit before the daughters? It doesn't say habanes es ha'av. Okay. So Minalan, where do we know this from? The Ksiv, it says in the pasuk, Ishki Yamas. Sorry about that. So the Ksiv, it says in the pasuk, Ishki Yamas, man dies, and he doesn't have sons, so the inheritance will go to the daughters. Taima dein like ben. What's the reason why it goes to the daughters? Because he doesn't have a son, hayesh le ben. But if he does have a son, ben kaida, and the son comes first. Why does it go to the daughters? Because he doesn't have a son. If he has a son, then it doesn't go to the daughters. Amalei Rav Papa la Abaya. We're going to associate that statement to Abaya that says Ishki Yamas is teaching me that the sons inherit and not the daughters. First. Rav Papa says to Abaya, Ema, maybe you could say it different. Ben later ben. If there's a son, then the son inherits. Ikabas, if there's a daughter, tiris bas, then the daughter inherits. If there's a daughter, Ikaben abas. Let's say there's both. Layler is high, Layler is high. Lay high layers, Lay high layers, Lay high layers. Then they both should not inherit. Gemara says, whoa. Velaman man chulu liris. Then who do you want to inherit? What do you do with that chulu? Man. What's that aleph over there? Man liris. You take out the chulu. Okay. Man liris. Who do you want to inherit? Bar kasha the masalirs? Do you want the city ruler to inherit? You want the state to take it over if there's a son and a daughter? Rather, what Rav Papa was asking was, if there's a son and a daughter, let them both inherit together. That's probably American law, right? That the daughters inherit just like the son. That's how that works in American law. Yeah, equal. They don't. There's no. Oh, like a firstborn, getting double. Yeah, that would kick in also. But we're saying, if there's sons and daughters, let them inherit together. That's what I understood. Rav Papa was asking. but the Gemara had this loy high liris, and they each shouldn't. The Gemara said, no, I meant that they each shouldn't inherit entirely, individually. They should inherit together. Amalei Abaya. Abaya says, one second. It's just like this. According to you, Rav Papa, that when there's a son and a daughter, they should split it 50-50. So comes along the Torah and says, if there's no son, then the daughter inherits fully. So you need to tell me that when they're equal, when there's when there's a son and a daughter, they inherit 50-50. When there's no son, they should inherit the whole thing. I need a whole pasuk to tell me. But you see, they inherit even when there is a son. Of course, they inherit when there's no son. The Gemara says, maybe it's coming to teach me the following. The bas nami bas yerushi. Maybe it's coming to teach me that she inherits together with the. Is that an alarm?
Amber kidnapped.
Oh, yeah.
Where?
That just means. Oh, where else are getting it?
We'll find the answer.
That just means the boyfriend with the kid. It doesn't mean the kid. That's right. So what the Gemara is suggesting over here, Rashbam goes through this whole discussion over here. What's exactly happening? Gemara is saying that we learned before from Rebbe that if there's a daughter, if there's only a daughter, or if the daughter inherits, then it ends up leaving the possession of that tribe. It goes to another because the husband now gets it, or the children get it. It says maybe what the pasuk is telling me that it's not only in there's only a daughter that the inheritance is going to go over to the other tribe, but even if there's a son as well, it's also going to go to the other tribe together with the daughter, because the son and daughter inherit together. Maybe the chiddush of this is Rebbe's chiddush, where it's going to leave. I know that sometimes the inheritance leaves the tribal family when there's only a daughter. Now it's going to leave the tribal family even when there's a son as well, because they're going to split it equally. It says Hahu, that pasuk to tell me that is mivachol bas yireshes nachla nafka. So I know that the daughter inherits when there's no son. In other words, if you would want to tell me that a daughter can inherit, then that I would know already from the Chol Bas Yireshes Nachla, that a daughter can inherit. When it tells me Va'avarta, that you have to pass over the son, that means that you're passing over the sons. That means that the sons would inherit before the daughter entirely, right? The sons, if there is a son, he inherits everything. That extra source tells me that the daughters don't inherit when there is a son. Okay. Yeah, and Rav Papa asked, maybe they don't inherit entirely. Right? Mainly Ben. Yeah, Rav Papa was asking that if there's no son, the pasuk says if there's no son, you give it to the daughter. So Abaya said, of course you give it to the daughter. If the daughter would inherit together with the son, of course the daughter would get it. It says no. What I'm coming to tell you is that you give it to the daughter, and it's going to leave the family, even though there's a son there. Even though, right, they would split the inheritance. So we said no. The fact that the daughter would inherit when there's no son, the fact that the daughter inherits, that I have another source for. this must be telling me that the daughter only inherits when there's no son. Yeah, that's what this pasuk is teaching.
And the Bechor is only for sons.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the firstborn, but the firstborn son.
Only this firstborn son.
Only the firstborn son.
Yeah, if there's a firstborn girl, then there's no Bechor. Rav Acha bar Yaakov Amar Mehacha. Rav Acha bar Yaakov, he has another source. He says that the son inherits before the daughter. He says, Lama, to the son, why should our father lose out from the family because he doesn't have a son? Taima. The reason ben. Why would he lose out is because he doesn't have a son. Yesh ben. But if he didn't have a son, he did have a son, ben kaidem, then the son would inherit first. So we see that the son would inherit everything. Dilma, the Gemara asks, Dilma b'nei Tzlafcha the Kamran Hachi. Nitna Tarviz Chat Shalacha. Maybe the daughters of Tzlafcha did not know what the halacha is, and it was before the Torah was given, and they were suggesting that why should we lose out? But comes along, why should we lose? Why should our father's inheritance lose out? Because the daughters don't inherit. If there's a son, then the sons inherit everything. But if there's even if there's daughters, the sons inherit everything. So, but the Gemara is asking that maybe that's not the way the Torah concludes. That's what they thought, but the Torah concludes that if there's a son and a daughter, that they split it. You're asking from their question, but I need a proof from Moshe Rabbeinu's answer, and not from their question. Yeah, but we're proving it from the phrasing of their question. Maybe they were mistaken. Right. You can't prove from the question, you can only prove from the answer. Rather, it's the way we explained it at the beginning, which was the way we quoted from Abaya, which was Ishkiyamos ben Einlai, that teaches me that only if there's no son do the daughters inherit. Ravina Amar Mihacha, Ravina says from the following: it says Akarav love that's close to him. Akarav Karav Kaidim, whoever's closest inherits first. So the Gemara says, the might cover the Ben Mibas. What are you telling me? That the son is a closer relative than the daughter? Sheben Kam, and it says, yeah, Sheben Kam Tachas Aviv Liyado L'Steachuza. The son is closer because the son can do yiyud. He can marry the girl, the slave girl that the father bought, just like the father can. Means that he's closer, and also he can redeem the. I'm going to get to the two dots. So right here, like another 5 line. And he also can redeem the father's land as if he's the father, right? And it doesn't go to the Kainim, it comes back to his family. Gemara says, 1 second. That's a very weak source. Because Yad Bas Lav Bas Yadahi. When you're talking about Yud, you're saying that the son is a closer relative than the daughter, because the son can marry this girl and the daughter can't marry this girl. Of course, the daughter can't marry a girl. It's not a proof. And also, you're telling me about the second one. If he can redeem the field as if that we only know that from the yiyud. So you're using the same thing again. That's the source for that, because it says we were asking 1 second. The brothers maybe are closer relatives. Maybe the brother should be able to redeem because the brother can do yibum. We said 1 second. The son is a closer relative because the son, if there's a son, then there's no yibum at all. Son knocks out the whole yibum. Same thing with the daughter. Okay. So we go back, we reject Ravina's answer as well, and we say it's from Ishkiyamas ben Einlai. If he doesn't have a son, then the daughters inherit. If he does have a son, the daughters inherit. Okay. If you want, we can have another source. It says, says, and you would bequeath it to your sons after you. B'neichem v'lo b'nei seichem, to your sons and not your daughters. Oh, that's what you want to say. B'neichem means your sons. It says, it says so that you keep these laws, so that your days and the days of your sons will be increased in the land. You're saying only your sons' days will increase, but not your daughters' days will increase. It says bracha shiny. Oh, when it comes to a bracha, then b'neichem is referring to the whole family, the sons and daughters. Coming to inheritance, maybe it's only referring to the sons.
Yeah,
That could be another source.
It's always masculine, but
Right. Yonatan is pointing out that a plural would be masculine. Right. Okay, let's leave it over here. Have a good week. Good to everyone.
Good
I think this
job.